Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another beer from New Image Brewing Company out of Arvada, Colorado, and I've had a couple beers from them before, and they've been pretty fantastic, so I'm kind of really excited for this one just because I think the can art for this beer specifically is amazing, and second of all, they have something in this beer that's definitely going to piques my interest because you guys hear me talk about what different kinds of like terminologies when it comes to beer and hops and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's something they used in this beer that I want to discuss a little bit because it makes sense, but I want to kind of give people a little idea of what something like this is all about, especially when it comes to adding hops. You know, like there's the lupulins and where you can get the hop pellets and all that kind of stuff. So they use something specific in this that's very, very interesting that I want to talk about because today we got one here called the Eject Mindcapsule from New Image. It's a double IPA coming in at 10.5%. And that's weird. I usually don't. Okay, so this one's just saying straight 10%. Okay, so on Untapped it says 10.5, but on the can it says 10. That's fine. But yeah, it's a double IPA brewed with. Let me see if it says right here. I don't see it, but there's something on here that will read it, everything. So, but from what it looks like. Hold on, let me see something here. Let's see. Hold on. Make sure I'm doing the right one here. Let's see. I think it is this one though. But let's look. Make sure I'm doing the correct one here for you guys. I think Eject Mind. See, that's the only weird thing about having. Okay, I think this is the right one. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I think we were on the correct one on Untapped because this looks like it's the right one here. But if they use 3 different hops in here, it looks like it's Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin, Citra, and Mosaic. But something they do with the Mosaic is definitely very, very interesting. So we're gonna touch on that. But it's a 10% ABV double IPA, and you guys know by now I love double IPAs. I'm a huge hop lover. So when it comes to a nice double or triple or quad IPA, I'm all for it. So let's crack this thing open. Expecting some nice tropical fruit flavors. Of course, citrus is going to be a big part of this as well. But I'm thinking this is going to be a very, very absolutely fantastic, just like tropical juice bomb, hazy, wonderful deliciousness. So let's crack this guy open and see what this thing's like on the nose. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, right off the bat, getting that grapefruit kind of lemon kind of citrus note. Definitely there's going to be a sweetness on this. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm super stoked because it has that distinct smell in like the double and triple IPAs that I know it's going to be something I like. There's a distinct smell to it where it's just like very tropical, very almost fruity on the nose. This is going to be like a pillowy soft mouthfeel, hazy AF, and yeah, let's pour it. Can you drink it out of my Heart of the North little glass this afternoon? Let's pour this guy and see what this thing's all about. Oh yeah, look at that. Super hazy. Almost has like a little bit of a golden kind of color to it, but not too bad. Definitely has a pillowy soft white head on the top. Look at that. That just looks absolutely delicious if I say so myself. Look at that. Just like a tropical hazy bomb right here. Oh yeah. This is definitely really, really bright upfront citrus hitting you right on the nose. Yeah, this smells absolutely fantastic. So let's give this guy a try and see what this thing's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is definitely, it's boozy, but you also get all those like, up front you get the tropical fruit of the citrus of the hops they used in here. You're definitely getting like, there's definitely a really nice predominant like almost grassiness to it. Could be, I don't know if I really could describe this as dank, but there's definitely a grassy floral kind of note coming through, almost like a forest floor kind of feel to it, to where it's like a little bit piney, a little bit of grassiness, but I think it's balancing out really, really well with the tropical fruit and the citrus flavors you get up front. Yeah, this is delicious, absolutely delicious. So looking here on Untapped, of course it tells you these Galaxy hops, which is a great like fruity hop, and the Nelson Sauvin is really nice to add like floral, grassy almost like the herbal kind of notes. Citra is, of course, good for citrus flavors, and then Mosaic's definitely a nice balance of tropical fruit and citrus as well. But the Mosaic they used in this one is very, very interesting because they used Mosaic Lupomax. So you guys hear me talk about lupulins, which is a higher concentrated pellet of hops to where you're using less of it. So let's say if you're dry hopping an IPA and you want to strictly use lupulins, that's more concentrated. You're going to be using less than your normal recipe would ask for, just because you're going to be getting that much more of those hop flavors coming through specifically. So the cool thing about it is if you're using anything when it comes to lupulins or the Lupomax, because Lupomax is a little bit more concentrated than the regular lupulins, plus there's like less vegetable matter in the pellet itself. So, well, I wouldn't say less vegetable matter in it, but like I said, you're using less of the pellets to get your hop flavor you want. So it would involve less waste, especially when you're because when you transfer this kind of stuff over to the fermenter, when you're dry hopping or anything like that, so you're doing your transfer stages, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to you want to get those hops out of there, so it makes for an easy transfer, or makes for an easy kind of situation where you want to keg it. So right when you set up your block and bleed and all that kind of stuff, when you're getting ready to either move it over to the bright to start carbonating it, or if you're getting ready to, well, I think it's most likely to be from the fermenter into the bright. I think most of the dry hopping stage is in the fermenter. So you want to not bring along all that kind of hop mash stuff that's going to be in there after you put the pellets in there, because the moment the pellets hit the water, they kind of just break apart and it becomes like a mush inside of the beer. So you want to get that stuff out of there before any kind of transfer happens. So most likely you're going to kind of push out a little bit of beer, that's because all the stuff is what comes the yeast and all the hops is going to sit at the bottom after sitting over time. So you're going to want to get some of that out, even if you want, because you may have a situation where you even want to reuse the yeast, because that's possible as well, to where if you keep that yeast is still active, you could use it again in a different beer, and plus it might add different flavors and all that kind of stuff as well. But of course, and then you're wanting to drain out all that hops in there, just it makes for an easy transfer. So when you're using less of the hops, because you're either using lupulins or the Lupomax, you're going to have less waste, because it's going to take less beer to get out of there when it comes to getting all the stuff you want to get out before you transfer it. So there's going to be less time you need, less amount of beer you need to get out, because there's going to be less hops you need to get rid of. So I think it's really, really nice to kind of show that there's a way to do it with less waste. So you're not as wasteful when it comes to moving it over and all that stuff. So it's just a really, really nice kind of touch. Plus it's a lot more concentrated, even though sometimes the lupulins and the Lupomax is most likely going to be more expensive due to it being more concentrated. But when it comes to price, a lot of the bigger breweries don't really care that much when it comes to hops, because they're usually getting a large amount of it, because they usually have the giant systems over there, to where compared to one I work with, it's like a minuscule system. I think all the barrels that I work with is like a third, not even a half of what some breweries have with one barrel. So some of their systems over there are pretty crazy, especially when it comes to different breweries all around the country. They have some pretty massive systems going on in their locations. But let's get back to this beer. Yeah, I think this beer is absolutely fantastic. It's really, really nice and balanced when it comes to having those floral, grassy kind of flavors coming through and balance out like the sweet, almost citrusy kind of tropical fruit notes that are going through. It's a very, very nice balance between both, so you know you're getting a nice, slightly boozy. There's definitely a slight booziness to this one, but it's a very, very well balanced double IPA. So I think they did a really good job with this one. But let's look here. Of course, on Untapped, it doesn't show the description that's on the can itself, but I'll read that. And on the description on Untapped, it just shows double IPA with Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin, Citra, and Mosaic Lupomax. But of course, if you can't get your hands on this Eject Mindcapsule, this Supersaturated double IPA, Untapped does a really cool thing to where they show similar beers to a beer you're possibly looking for, just because if you get your hands on it, they list off something that you may find something in your area that carries what this one is. So let's list some off here and see what we can find. We got one here called the Frisbee from Eagle Park Brewing Company. That's an 8.5% New England style IPA. It looks like it's just in regular New England. But it looks at This one is made with Mosaic hops at Eagle Park Brewing Company, I believe is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then we got one here called the Comatose Imperial IPA from Good Life Brewing Company, which is an 8.5% Imperial Double IPA, but they kind of mix bright fruit and melon. So like they're using fruit, melon, citrus when it comes to eating of Meyer lemons on the nose, and then medium levels of bitterness. And Good Life is located in Oregon, so in Bend, Oregon. What else we got here? We got one here called the Tetraplex from Grimm Artisan Ales, which is a 10% triple IPA. Their most recent batch is brewed in March 2021. Let's see. Tetraplex is an amped up Tesseract at a 10% ABV, so the Tetraplex is their kind of hoppier version of the Tesseract. And then let's see, we got one here from Four Noses Brewing Company called the Pineapple Velvet, which is a 6.5% milkshake IPA with so they had pineapple, vanilla, and lactose in there. But let's see what else we got here. Then the last one, we got one from Outer Range Brewing Co. called In the Deep Sleep, which is an 8.5% double New England IPA brewed with Citro, Mosaic, Galaxy. Let's see, yeah, of course, tasting notes of grapefruit, peach, mango, all that kind of stuff. So most likely, I think I'm going to choose this one from Outer Range, and they're located in Frisco, Colorado. So if you may be able to find something from Outer Range Brewing Company near you, and you might be able to find this In Deep Sleep double IPA from these guys, and you most likely will have similar experiences because there's the Citra, Mosaic, and the Galaxy. Those are 3 hops right there. They're going to give you similar flavors to what this one's has. Of course, with the Nelson Sauvin on this one, you're definitely going to get a little bit more of a grassier kind of note, or like something like that. So overall, I think this beer is absolutely fantastic. So let me pour a little bit more into there, and then now let's start listing off some other stuff with this one when it comes to what people are rating this guy. So let me take one more sip. Okay, and then let's look here. So on Untappd, it says it's a 10.5%, but on the can it says it's a 10. So there's a 10% ABV. And you know by now, I would never consider this kind of beer sessionable. Anything above like the 7.5 kind of realm, I would not consider a sessionable beer. So you're most likely you could have one of these, one or two of these, and you'll definitely be feeling it. That's for sure. And with over 1,123 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.29 out of 5, which is pretty damn fantastic. Pretty fantastic. And let's look here on my friends list and see if anybody checked this one in. I think we got, yep. So we got one person, which, of course, when I order my beer through Tavour, I get 2 of them, one for me, one for my father. So he checked this one in back in October, and he gave it a full 4 out of 5 purchase off Tavour. So let's look here back at the global ratings. Let's see what other people had to say about this guy. So let's see here. This guy gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Where did he purchase this one? It doesn't. Okay, so it looks like he's drinking this at the Peterson Pond, which I wonder if this is a location in Colorado. Oh no, this is a place in Wisconsin. That's cool. So New Image is showing up in Wisconsin. We got another 4.5 here. Let's see, we got a 3.5. This person gave it a 3.5, saying way too sweet and fruity, which I wouldn't agree. I think it's a really, really nice balance of fruitiness and floral grassiness. So maybe he likes his stuff more of like a kind of your like American West Coast IPA, where it's a little bit more of that hoppier kind of bite to it. So he might be a fan of those more often than these kind of IPAs. But let's see, we got a 3.75 here. We got a 3.5. Let's see, we got a 4.25 purchase off Tavour. Okay, so we got a 4.25, and he purchased his at Eagle Park Brewing Company. So I wonder if there's a little bit of a collaboration between Eagle Park and New Image, to where possibly, because breweries sometimes do carry other breweries' beers if they're like good friends with the people at the brewery, so they'll carry some guest beers every once in a while. So I wonder if that's what happens between Eagle Park and New Image, to where they do some guest beer kind of stuff going on over there. But let's see, we got a purchase off Tavour here, and he gave it a 4.25. Let's do 3 more. A 4 out of 5 purchase off Tavour. Let's see, we got another 4.25, and the last one is a 4.25 out of 5. So yeah, pretty damn good ratings, I would say, on this guy. with having that almost 4.3 average, I think is a really, really nice. You can definitely tell this is a high quality brewer, that's for damn sure. But let's see here. With all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing on our end over here for ratings. But of course, first thing we like to look at here is can art. And I absolutely love the can art this one. It almost has like a kaleidoscope-y kind of vibe to it. The colors are vibrant. The purples, blues, grays, like almost like whites coming through. I think this can art is absolutely fantastic. Probably one of my favorite can arts from New Image that I've seen. I think one of my favorites from them is when I reviewed that, the Big Lebowski Stout, the White Russian Stout I did from them. I really like the touch of that. But this one, when it comes to just color and how it appeals to me, this is definitely way up there with some of the better ones that I've seen. So big shout outs to New Image for marketing a beer like this, because I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Plus, they have something on here that I'll read off right here. So let's see. It says right here, it's on the can. It says, since the inception of the American IPA brewing, there has been a constant effort to achieve maximum saturation of flavor. The methods have evolved over the course of time, and the goalposts have shifted a bit. But the quest for maximum hop intensity remains constant. With this series, we use a combination of novel hops products such as cryo pellets and the supercritical hop extracts, along with our over-advancing techniques of hop addition and extraction to produce this super saturated IPA. This beer goes beyond every boundary we've ever had for an IPA brewing, and we are ecstatic to share the results with you. So yeah, when it comes to how adding hops and using the addition of hops in beer has evolved over time, there's so many new things coming out with so many different ways to use hops in addition to a beer. So I think that's a really cool thing, to where they're kind of use this series of beer to kind of tell a story with it. And I think that having that little story right there is a really nice touch. And of course, it says right here, it's just like taking a superhero dose of hops to the dome, which I really like that. I think that's awesome. But yeah, this can art is fantastic. Of course, I really, really like New Image's logo. Of course, you can see that right there. And they took up so much of the pretty much all the real estate that they have on there. They took advantage of when it comes to the art, the name of the beer, the name of the brewery on the bottom. So that's stuff that you can expect right off the bat. The story, having that little slogan right there with taking a superhero amount of hops to the dome. Yeah, this is everything that I look for when it comes to marketing in a can of beer. So with this one, easy 5 out of 5 for can art, and just how they marketed it in general, I think is just absolutely fantastic. So big ups to them on that. So let's see what else here. If I got this beer in a flight over at New Image Brewing Company, would I get another one? To be honest, absolutely. Like I said, I really, really like the balance of like the citrus and tropical fruit up front, mixed with that kind of grassy, almost herbal bitterness that kind of comes through. So I think the right amount of piney and right amount of fruity, and I was like, it's just really, really well balanced. I think the amount of hops they use in this one is very, very on point. This is definitely something that I'm going to keep in mind for whenever I want to possibly do a nice kind of higher hoppy IPA over at the brewery. So this is definitely one that I'm going to keep in the memory bank of how I would like it to taste. But overall, I think they did absolutely a fantastic job on this one. So, of course, if I got this in a flight, yeah, I would definitely get another one. I'd probably get a 4-pack to bring home. That's for damn sure. And let's see here. With that being said, what would my final rating be on this guy? I don't want to say it's going to be tough, because I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to give this one for a final rating. So I think I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8.5 to 8.75. I think I'm going to stick around the 8.5 kind of realm. If you're a fan of some nice kind of hoppy, a little bit hoppier, but of still kind of not lacking any kind of tropical fruit and citrus flavors in it. If you like kind of a more of a boozier IPA, if you're a fan of double IPAs, I would definitely recommend getting your hands on this one. So if you're in the Colorado area, and if you can find this Eject Mindcapsule from New Image, do not hesitate, just pick it up. I think it's an absolutely fantastic double IPA that, if you're a double IPA fan, this will definitely be something you would enjoy, for sure. So, with all that being said, let's see, do I have anything else over here? I think that is pretty much it for everything, guys. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, so along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live, do another review. And of course, you can see me all on all of my other social media platforms as well when it comes to seeing me on Instagram. You can see what I'm going to be reviewing that day. I usually do the day of kind of posts of like a beer hand check to where it kind of gives you guys a heads up of what I'm be reviewing that day. And of course, you can shoot me a friend request on Untapped. If you guys hear me talk about Untapped plenty of times before already, I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's a really, really fun time. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. It's a really, really cool platform. Plus, you could see people like me, Kentucky, Duchess over there, Ian's over there, Freedom Issues over there. I know he recently added me on Untapped. So there's a bunch of us over on Untapped just checking in beers and having a good time. It's just a really, really cool platform that I highly recommend every craft beer lover to get into. So if you want to shoot me a friend request, the link to my profile is down in the description below as well. And of course, last but not least, if you want to support me any other way when it comes to possibly giving me a little bit of coin to help you guys out with getting you guys some beer, possibly if you decide to join the Patreon, I have that available for you guys. So if you want to support me more and help me get a little extra coin in my pocket to where I could possibly give back to you guys a little bit more, that would be greatly appreciated as well. I do monthly 4-pack giveaways over there to where you can get your hands on some Illinois exclusive craft beer. I know I just did a drawing for May's winner yesterday, so another big congratulations to Lee, not the real Gerard Butler, for winning May's 4-pack. And I make sure to kind of, with the 4-pack, make it strictly exclusive to Illinois craft beers, so just kind of give you something that you might not normally be able to get your hands on near you. So I love to share stuff from my neck of the woods. So if you want to possibly get the opportunity to win yourself some Illinois exclusive craft beer from my neck of the woods, go ahead and join the Patreon. There's 3 different tiers available for you to join, and of course, the higher tier you join, the more opportunity you will have to win, just because you have more than one entry the higher tier you get to. So with the lowest tier, you get 1 entry, the second tier you get 2 entries, and the last tier you get 3 entries into that monthly raffle. So your chances will definitely go up depending on the tier you join. But of course, it would help me out greatly if you guys decide to support me that way. So if you want to, go right ahead. It's no pressure to me or any of you guys. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys. So thank you again, everybody in chat, for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.